Okay, we are recording. Welcome everyone to our Spirit of Access webinar. It's just a half an hour long because this is our first time. And in case there was catastrophe, I didn't want to schedule anything much longer. You should be able to see the screen right now. Let's see, share screen. There we go. So now you see my screen, right? And can someone type something in the chat box? Lorato, I can see, is typing. And now I can see my chat. Okay. All right. So if you look at the bottom of the screen, okay, 7, great. I'm getting chat box messages. That is great. It is huge. Okay, so here we are. I'd like to talk today about the spirit of access. And my name's Kevin McCoy. I'm in the embassy, U.S. Embassy in Pretoria. With Lorato Masha, we are the RELO Regional English Language Office in Southern Africa, along with our colleague Francina Mahoro, who's not here right now. You'll see our Facebook address on the bottom of the screen there. For these Zoom chats, the main method of communication is going to be the chat box. You'll see that icon at the bottom of the screen, on the bottom of your screen that says chat. If you click on that, you'll be able to talk to everybody via chat. You do not need to worry about your microphone or setting up video. That just makes things complicated. So let's begin. What is RELO? RELO is the Regional English Language Office, and we support English teaching and learning with programs, trainings, materials, and ideas in all of these 16 countries that you see at the bottom of the screen. Angola, Botswana, Comoros, etc., and especially Madagascar. Why are we having this Access webinar today? For one, I'd like to refresh our memory on what Access is and is not. And two, to see if you have interest in further webinars. Please signal me by writing in the chat box if you don't understand, if you don't see something, etc. Another goal is to launch your Access platform for sharing ideas. We'll tell you about that later. And I want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel powerful and brave, inspired, free, and at the same time, independent and supported, because we're here to support you. But I also like Access teachers to have a lot of independence. So, we're going to play a game now, and it is how is being an Access teacher different from being a regular teacher, in your opinion? Use the chat box to respond. There it is. How is it different to be an Access teacher? How are you personally different as an Access teacher than you are in your regular classes? Okay, I'm not seeing any responses, which is okay. Take your time. I just want to see if we have any participants here. We lost all our participants. Okay. Well, we got Giselle, we got Virginia, and we got Kevin and Lerato. Oh, there's a power cut in Madagascar. Thanks, Vuni, for letting us know. That's good to know. Okay. Power cuts happen. So anyway, I'm going to come back to the webinar. Now, this will be a little bit easier. I have a couple answers in the chat box. Oh, another. All right, Ravaka's back. Okay, don't worry, not your fault. Let me ask you now a question. In this game we're going to play, your job is to identify an Access teacher or a traditional language teacher. So in the chat box, you'll write A for Access and T for traditional teachers. So for example, number 1, welcome student mistakes knowing that mistakes are part of learning, or interpret students if they make a mistake in speaking in order to correct them. So which is number 1? Access teacher or traditional? What do you think? All you have to do is type in A or 1 equals A. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Good job. Yeah. I think that's one thing Access teachers can do. Let's look at number 2. Again, we have 2 contrasting ideas here. Number 1, this teacher often uses activities where students move. 2, this teacher likes activities where students are at their desks most of the time. Which is the traditional teacher? Which is the Access teacher? What do you think? Pretty much everyone's going for 1 again. I agree with you. I should say that there are no absolute correct answers. This is not official Access, but these are some of what I have observed from really good Access teachers. Okay, so I think 1 in this case is more of an Access teacher. Here's another one. Arranges teacher to student tasks primarily. Or 2, arranges student to student tasks primarily. Which one is the Access teacher here? 1 or 2? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of 2s in the chat box. That is good. I would agree with you there, that Access teachers do a lot of student to student tasks. Let's try another one. Sticks carefully to the textbook and syllabus during lessons, changes the lessons when needed, sometimes mid-lesson. Which one do you think is the Access teacher? In this case, it's more number 2. Access teachers are brave. They're not afraid to take risks. They know that no one will challenge them if they change things because they have independence. Access or traditional teacher stands up in front of the class and controls, stands up in front. Or two, sometimes does not appear to be teaching. Which one do you think is more likely an access teacher? Everybody's saying two. Some of the best access classes I've been into, the students are doing all the work and the teacher's not, because they're very active. All right, this is our last one for the access spirit. This teacher does a lot of preparation for exams with students. This teacher focuses on English for skills, like problem solving, teamwork, designing and implementing projects. Which one is the access teacher? Looking at the chat box. Have you answered already? Yes, you have. Okay, again, yeah, this is two. Access teachers. All right, it looks like people have a great understanding of the spirit of access. This is all unofficial, but it's what I've observed in really good access classes. Now, this is official because this comes from a definition of the Access program published by the Department of State. Access provides a foundation of English language skills to talented 13 to 20-year-olds from economically disadvantaged sectors. Access gives participants English skills that may lead to better jobs and educational prospects. Okay. And here I've highlighted what I think is really important: English language skills. And then later, English skills that may lead to better job. So you can really see the emphasis here is on skills. It's not on doing well on the test, although that's a skill. And it's not on grammar or the knowledge of English language form. It's about skills. So what I would like to know is Access Madagascar doing great things? I bet you are. Virginia's typing in an answer. Good. I know that Access students met the president of the country. That's pretty great. Good. Angela, Ravaka, Hariniana. Good. Lots of participants are answering. Great. We're doing our best for our youth. Thank you. Can you give me an example of something different you have done with Access students? Think for a moment. Any really interesting projects, lessons that you've done recently with Access? Again, type your answer in the chat box. Service community, Laingo. Great. Can you tell us what you did, Laingo? Community service? Like, was it picking up litter or a company visit? Okay, Angela, what company did you visit? I'm very curious. Those things are Access. Yeah, good job. They work on posters. To sensitize other classmates not to litter. Good, Voni. That's great. They visit the American Embassy. Very Access. Vatel Hotel. okay, to see how a hotel runs. I hope the discussion there was in English from the hotel people, right, Angela? Okay, those are great access projects. Computer-based writing, great. Super. Those are great examples. Thank you, Access Madagascar. Okay, so my next question is, how does RELO, that's me and Lorato, how do we know this? How do we know extra activities from Yolanda? Orphanage from Virginia. Okay, that's fantastic. So my next question is, how does the Regional English Language Office know this? And the answer is, we don't. We don't know anything that you're doing. And we want to, because it looks like you're doing really great things. I've seen some great ideas here. So now I want to take you on a tour of the Access Teacher Ukraine Facebook page. Because you're doing great things in Madagascar, but I don't know. And yet every day I know what Access teachers in Ukraine are doing. And they are 5,000 miles away from me. This is their Facebook page. And I've just reached out and grabbed off this a couple ideas from the last few days. This teacher posts on Facebook, our January 9th lesson was about Christmas. Look at these photos. Access students are actively doing things. Here's something from January 7th. It's about management and leadership. They had a visitor come. This is a different group. You can see all the team building activities they're doing, standing up. This is something called Elevate Brain Training, and they use drawings. I don't even know what it is, but it's really interesting. And the teachers post these with one paragraph and some pictures as soon as they do the activities. Look at this one from December 17th. Teaching English to IDP families. IDPs are internally displaced persons, right? So these are kids that had to move out away from their homes because of the war in Ukraine. It's not the Access teachers, the Access students go and offer English lessons to these displaced kids. They use fun activities. Those are amazingly creative activities. Access Madagascar is probably doing the same thing. But I don't know it. There's no way I can know it. And I want to, because I want to boast about you and tell Washington, D.C. and the U.S. Embassy in Antananarivo how great you are and what you are doing. Yeah, Vuni, I've seen your Facebook page. I looked at it a few times to see when things were coming on. It's great. If you guys want to revive that Facebook page, that's fine with me. But we also have this one here. I have just started called Access Southern Africa. And I'm hoping that teachers, the provider, will post when you do something great, like we visited a hotel, put up 3 photographs and tell the world. So this is one thing I really want to get you started doing. It's not just for me and not just for the embassy. It's because when the teachers start doing this, you inspire each other. You give each other great ideas. It builds a momentum in the community. And I have to say that the money that supports Access comes through us and the U.S. Embassy. So we need to see what is happening for us to get the funding. Another thing is success stories. I was just talking with Vuni right before this webinar, and Vuni, you were telling me about a student who got a job as, just got a job or entered university or something. And it's these kind of success stories with one photograph to me that really push Access. I just received this from Zimbabwe, which is also in our region. And here's an Access alumnus who just got a full scholarship in the United States. So I sent this to Washington, D.C. And today I saw in an email, this was our top highlight for our office in Washington, D.C. But if no one sent it to me, then no one knows. You don't have to write things up perfectly. I just need to know what's happening. Okay, so my next question to you. What do you think? Should we have additional webinars? You can use the chat box to respond to me. Is it a pain for you? Is it trouble? Or would you like them? Because now that you know how to log into Zoom, the next time it's easy peasy, easy peasy, Japanese. Okay, that sounds good. Possible topics. If you see any topics that you like, or you have one of your own, type it in the chat box, please. I know that Vuni already suggested assessment. I'm not going to do assessment. I can get someone else to do it, but it's not one of my strong points. But I'm looking at Giselle there. Maybe Giselle knows assessment, or one of my other English language fellows. Vuni, this is a great, Vuni has a great question. It was, can we ask one of the Access students to manage the Facebook page? Great question. And for now, the answer is no, because we are managing the Facebook page here, and it's for teachers. That one that we just showed you, Access Southern Africa, is for teachers. The answer is yes, if you want to do an Access student Facebook page. You can have Access students manage it. That's fabulous. That's absolutely great. But I do want to have a community for the teachers and the providers. And we will not invite students to that. It's just for sharing activity ideas. If you want to promote an Access for Students one, by all means, go ahead. Yes, the link that Lorato just sent, she can send the link again. It looked really complicated when it came through. There it is too. If you just go to facebook.com and look for Access Southern Africa. I'll give you the links at the end of this webinar, and we're almost done. Thanks, Lorato. So, thank you for submitting your ideas for some webinars. How many of you have seen Activate Games for Learning American English in Madagascar? I know Giselle has. Let me know if you have used them in the chat box. Just say yes or no. Because this is a set of games that we have developed. And let me give you let me play one game with you really, really quickly here. Giselle says she loves it. Wow, so a lot of people don't know them. Oh my goodness. Well, you will. Here's one of the games. Activate has 4 sets of games. One is a selection of cards. And the cards have a topic on them like this, things that are round. So what I'm going to do is describe to you 6 things that are round. And as soon as you know the answer to type it in the chat box. We'll see who the fastest is. Okay, I will describe, you type the answer in. This round thing comes out at night. It's in the sky. It's considered romantic. Everyone got it. People are smart in Madagascar. Good job. Number 2, this round thing hangs on the wall. It makes a little noise, and it also tells us what time it is. You got it. Clocks. Here's another big round thing. It's more like a ball, and it's something that, and it has an atmosphere, and we live on it. Angela and Lorato and Hasina got it. The earth. Good job, everybody. Number 4, this is something that you eat, and its name is a color. It is named after a color. Ravaka was first. Good job, Ravaka. Kaki. Do you eat kaki? That's possible. Okay, it is a citrus fruit. The last description I will make very simple. Number 5, this is a child's most simple toy that what toy do children play with? A ball. Thanks, Lorato, and everyone else. A ball. Oh, maybe we have one more. But I can't remember what it is. So, what's on the top of your neck? Heads. So I wanted to play this game with you for 2 reasons. One is to show you the set of Activate games, but also that in general, webinars can be interactive. And we can have some action and make them fun. The Activate game set also includes board games where students move pieces across a board game like this using dice. Now, Giselle from Madagascar just sent me this game that Malagasy teachers just made this game. They created it after her workshop. So students would work in a group and roll a die, a cube with numbers 1 to 6. I'll roll one here. Let's say I got a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hop to the board. So I guess this is what. So participants would do that. That's definitely access. That's a wonderful board game. Kiss the person on your left on the cheek. Wow. So, fantastic game. Thanks for sending that in, Giselle. Okay, so here's another idea I wanted to ask you before we end up this webinar. What would you think of having access, rather than only Madagascar teachers? I think I'll combine you with teachers from the other countries next time. That would be South Africa, Botswana, and the 2 Congo countries. I think that's what we'll do in the future. Have you all together to share ideas. Yeah, of course, you can use it in our South African classes as well. Okay, that's good. I'd like to form a community with you all contributing to that Facebook page for teachers. And finally, something to think about. What would you think about arranging a Zoom conference? Let's see, for example, you in a room with Access students, and then a South African group of students, and your students could talk to each other. They would prepare questions ahead of time. Or you could talk to people in Europe, like Access students in Ukraine, or another country. Good point. Vuni says, excellent idea, but we need to be more familiar with Zoom. Okay. I think maybe let's think about that, and in a month or 2 months, when we get familiar with this platform, we might consider that. You could also do this just within Madagascar, a group in Antananarivo and a group in another city. Lainga says Skype. How about using Skype? Skype is the best known, but I find that this platform has really good quality. I mean, the visual is good for you, right? The sound is good. Yeah. Voini thinks it's good. I think it's the best one. Okay. But you can go ahead. If you want to do Skype, go for it with your students. All right, let's summarize our really brief webinar. Here are our goals. In general, I give you the blessing to make Access as different as possible from regular English classes. If you think back to when you studied a language, think of all the things you didn't do in class. I know I didn't get to listen to songs very much. I didn't get to move, or I didn't get to visit an orphanage when I studied French. The list of things I didn't do is almost endless. Think of that list and think, you know what? I'm allowed to do this in my Access class. And also think of Access is English for skills. It's not just English to learn the language correctly. It's English to use English for skills. IT English, business, team building, leadership. A third thing I want you to take away is start posting, please, on our Access Southern Africa on Facebook. I swear, Ratu and I will look practically every day to see what you guys are doing in your classes. I hope that you use Facebook in Madagascar. And I will comment and I will share your great activities with Access around the world with your permission. These are some of the pillars of Access, I think, as you are doing classes. To think about these. Obviously, you can use the course book. You can teach grammar. Grammar is needed and it can be fun. But also, keep in mind these things. Can we post on Facebook past activities? Yeah, Vonnie, why not? Let's do it. I mean, you can get caught up with you because you have great past activities. And why not? Let's start with those. Those can be inspiring too. So finally, I hope you feel brave as an Access teacher. And by that, I mean, you can make mistakes. You can take risks. Go for it. I hope you feel powerful because I'm an Access teacher and I can change people's lives. Autonomous because you're independent. No one is really looking over your shoulder and telling you exactly what to do. But at the same time, supported because we're here for you to help you with new skills. ETP is there to support you. The embassy in Madagascar is there to support you. Giselle Robitaille is probably available as the English language fellow in Madagascar to support you. And I hope you'll inspire your students. I know you are already. So thank you for attending today. The Spirit of Access. This is the first webinar I've ever done with a large, with Zoom and so many teachers in so many different locations. So thank you. And I hope that we will continue to talk to each other via Facebook. There's Facebook RELO Southern Africa, and there's Facebook Access Teachers Southern Africa. Okay? Great to talk to you all. And we will also make this available, the webinar available on YouTube in case you wanted to see it again. All right. Thank you, everybody.